Hey everybody, this is Matt at tradingparadigm.com, and today I want to talk about the top 2 indicators that I use to navigate the markets. And even though I have this post titled as the best futures trading indicators, because I personally believe that futures offer superior markets and products, and they're mainly what I trade, my view on indicators applies to all other markets as well. Whether I was trading stocks, crypto, futures, you name it, these would be my top indicators. Just as a quick introduction, I unfortunately got introduced to active trading nearly a decade ago through guru alert services, newsletters, and chat rooms, which were all essentially breeding grounds for blind copycat trading, full of individuals just looking to get rich quick, without any actual skill development or experience. Of course, I know better now, but the thought was that I could simply mirror the trade-by-trade actions of gurus with seemingly great track records. But as many of you probably know who have been down a similar path, this copycat approach didn't work at all for a number of reasons. And it took me far too long to realize it, accept it, and take a more legitimate approach. I essentially wasted 2 years on this type of nonsense, which is incredibly embarrassing to admit, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because it put me on a highly determined path to learn all kinds of technical analysis and find out for myself what the best indicators are. Indicators that actually work. I was done outsourcing my own decision making to self-proclaimed gurus. It was time to take full responsibility for my entire trading process. So I started testing the waters using various popular indicators. Simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD, Fibonacci retracement, and so much more. You name it, and I probably at least considered tossing it on my charts at some point. But it got to a point where I was looking at so many different indicators at once that there was no real meaning to any of it. My charts were bombarded with lines and shapes. So I really had no choice but to simplify and refine. And I eventually found some moderate levels of success with a couple of the indicators I just mentioned. But I was never able to acquire all that much confidence using any of them. I'm not saying that these particular indicators hold zero merit. I know great traders who do in fact use them effectively. But generally speaking, they never worked for me in any highly reliable or consistent way. It wasn't until I came across profiling tools when things finally clicked and market movement actually started to make sense. And that leads us right into the first indicator I want to discuss, volume and market profile. Technically, these are 2 separate things, but they're often talked about synonymously, or at least in conjunction with one another. So for the sake of simplicity in this article and video, I'm pairing them together. There are some hardcore profile traders who will actually take offense to me calling volume and market profile indicators, as if indicator is a derogatory term. But I do understand where they're coming from on this. They want to make it clear that profiling tools aren't just like typical indicators that lag behind price. Instead, they display real-time market-generated information in powerful ways that no other indicators or charting studies can replicate. In my opinion, these tools are unmatched, and trading without them would be like trading blind. I wouldn't have anywhere near as much confidence and consistency in my approach looking at markets through any other lens. I probably could have taken this entire article and video to talk exclusively about volume and market profile because I think they're the most powerful and potent, but I also want to give an honorable mention to volume weighted average price, or VWAP. VWAP looks kind of like a moving average line, but the difference is that it takes volume into account. It's the average price adjusted for volume over a specified time period. VWAP is often a significant reference level for large institutions, so when there's an indicator that pretty much all of the big players in the market are using, it's definitely worth paying attention to. The standard daily VWAP is extremely popular, but I've personally found a lot of value using various anchored VWAPs, anchored to the beginning of the week, month, and year, for example, and to the beginning of big news events and data releases like FOMC and CPI. When price approaches these levels, there's often a reaction, at least initially, and overall, VWAP is very telling of who's in control, buyers or sellers. The main takeaway is that these top indicators are multi-dimensional and expose the quality of price in powerful, actionable ways. They're not just indicators based on price alone. but price in relation to time and volume. These are the three critical ingredients to the market auction process. So if you use tools like Volume and Market Profile and VWAP to observe and analyze market structure, posture, and context, it can provide meaningful edge. You can see market movement and behavior with a level of clarity that many others don't. So if you're tired of being deceived by a surface level view of price through weak, rather arbitrary indicators, then I highly suggest checking out profiling in VWAP. You can find a link to this full article down in the description, along with a handful of additional resources. And if you have any thoughts or questions you'd like to share about these indicators or others, please do so in the comments. I'm interested to see what all of your favorite indicators are, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care.